What's going on, guys? It's and we are jumping into Ultimate Spider-Man issue 59. So in the previous issue, we saw Gwen Stacy towards the end of the issue pull a gun out on Peter Parker. Now, many of you guys were asking, where did Gwen Stacy get the gun from? Well, in the issue, she actually states that it was her father's. So I'm assuming that maybe her father gave it to her before she died. Wait, before she died? Before he died or something like that? Of course, her father being a police officer, he probably gave it to her to protect herself or something along those lines. Now, as for the cliffhanger in general, it was one of the craziest cliffhangers going these past two issues with Gwen Stacy discovering the identity of Peter Parker, and then the previous issue with her pulling a gun out on him. Everything's getting a little bit crazy, and I know some of you guys are actually saying that you don't like Gwen Stacy, but what you've got to think about is that this is a really sore subject for her. Like, this is a really emotional time for her because this is about her father, and she still hasn't fully gotten over like the death of her father. So obviously there's going to be like mixed emotions and her mind's going to be going a little bit crazy and stuff. So I'd say just give her a little bit of a break because she does actually become a really awesome character, and especially in the next saga, by the way, because Carnage is coming up, remember, so yeah, look out for that. But now that I've babbled on a little bit, I think it's time that we get into this issue and get reviewing this. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into it and let's get into it. So anyway, the issue opens up with where we exactly left off last time, with Gwen pointing the gun at Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker, now that she knows that his secret identity is, of course, Peter Parker as Spider-Man. All of this craziness is about to kick off in her head, and one of the things that I noticed straight away was the way Spider-Man snatched the gun out of Gwen's hand, and this is actually the first time Gwen has experienced Spider-Man's reflexes, or should I say, Peter Parker's true reflexes, now that he can kind of show them off. Like, obviously, when he's pretending to be Peter Parker, he's got to act a little bit slower than what he's actually capable of. And for the first time here, Gwen actually got a little bit of a teaser at just how quick Peter Parker's reactions actually are. And I thought that was just awesome to see that. And eventually, the shock sets in that Peter Parker is in fact Spider-Man and that she lives in the same house as Spider-Man. Now, I'm pretty sure anybody would do this. Well, actually, in real life, I'd probably just be like, oh my god. But with all the stuff that's going on with Gwen Stacy, she just takes off out of the house. And to be honest, I think that's quite a realistic thing that would happen in her situation. Like, we've seen the two types of reactions. We got one from Mary Jane where she was like really happy and she started jumping up and down on the bed and all that. And then we got the second side of the reaction, which was from Gwen Stacy. And that's kind of suggesting that, yeah, some people will take it as like an awesome thing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But then other people will kind of just think it's too much and they'll take off and they'll run away. And they'll need time to kind of gather their thoughts. And that is what we saw from Gwen Stacy. So anyway, moving on throughout the comic, Gwen Stacy's taken off. Aunt May has walked him through the door as this has happened. And what you can't forget is that Peter had his tooth ripped out of his mouth by Dr. Octopus, so Peter had to figure out a way of explaining that to Aunt May in the most logical way possible. And I thought it was amazing how he came up with like this battle ball game from the gym at school or something. And his kind of reaction of just how he was like, yeah, battle ball. Now, I was actually quite surprised with how easily Aunt May kind of took this information in. Like, if in real life, I'm pretty sure your parents or anything like that would be ringing up the school and being like, you knocked my kid's tooth out. Like, surely the school will be held accountable for that. But maybe in America, that's just something that happens in the gym. Maybe it was an accident or something, I don't know. But I feel like Aunt May just kind of let it slide a little bit, especially with like the overprotectiveness that Aunt May seems to have over Peter Parker. So I was really expecting her to maybe say something like, oh, I'm going to go into the school, I'm going to talk to the school principal. But she just didn't do that, so yeah, that was pretty surprising. Now, progressing through the comic, we've got Mary Jane coming back to Peter Parker, seeing whether he's okay, because obviously she was stuck in school, worrying about Peter Parker, not knowing how badly he was beaten up or anything like that, so she's been sat at school worrying about Spider-Man, and I think that's kind of one of the disadvantages of knowing who Spider-Man actually is, because you worry about this person, and it's something that kind of comes with knowing his secret identity. It's almost like you have a responsibility of your own, and as you can see on screen right now, Gwen Stacy has also taken up that responsibility of protecting Spider-Man's secret identity. And I really love how Gwen Stacy as a character realizes what Peter Parker's family has done for her. Like, she's had all of this craziness in her life with her mum, her father, and Peter Parker's family, Aunt May and Peter Parker, kind of just opened the door to her, let her live here, and Aunt May's treated her as one of like her daughters or something like that. And what I really like about this is that we've kind of got like a little bit of a love triangle, except it's more of like a secret identity triangle between Peter Parker, Mary Jane, and Gwen Stacy. They're the only few people that know about Spider-Man's secret identity. And if you remember, like, maybe like 20 issues ago when Mary Jane was kind of concerned about Gwen Stacy and kind of, you know, a little bit suspicious about her living at Peter Parker's house, and now that Gwen Stacy's kind of let in on this secret that only Peter Parker and Mary Jane shared with each other. Obviously, I'm not saying that Gwen Stacy is now going to try and get Peter Parker to like her or anything like that, but something that Peter and Mary Jane shared only together now also lies within the hands of Gwen Stacy as well, and that's a pretty major thing for Gwen Stacy to know about. Now, enough of all that craziness that's going on back there. We now find ourselves at Stark Industries, and you can see that S.H.I.E.L.D. is there, Nick Fury is there, Dr. Otto Octavius is there, captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. And I thought it was brilliant how Nick Fury went the distance of destroying Dr. Octopus's arms. And you can really see it in Doc Ock's face, like the sheer emotion that it's tearing him up inside, because what you've got to think about is that he has an emotional bond to these metal arms. So to see these guys being thrown into what seems to be a lava pit basically just rips him in half, rips his heart in two. And once again, that's people standing in his way, that's people taking things away from him. So ever since Doc Ock became Dr. Octopus, it's either Spider-Man's getting in the way, or someone else is getting in the way with a lot of money, or S.H.I.E.L.D's getting in the way, and things just keep getting taken from him. Now that's actually the last time until we will see Dr. Octopus, until like issue 100 or something like that. So wave goodbye to him, because now we go 4 months into the future when the Spider-Man movie has been made, it's been released, it's the opening night, and you can see all of this Spider-Man merchandise. Spider-Man is now a popular superhero. And what I love is, like, it's almost like the entire of New York City is just like covered in Spider-Man merchandise. Like, you got those 2 massive Spider-Men hanging off the building of what looked to be Times Square. And this is really a benchmark for Spider-Man, of where these people have actually made a Spider-Man movie and brought the Spider-Man experience to the public for the first time. And for Spider-Man, it's necessarily going to get a little bit better from here, but we'll also see Kingpin returning and have something a little bit to do with that, which is just so awesome. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. But anyway, guys, that is it for this issue. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, even though that issue was just awesome. It was so good. As I've already said, I was kind of a little bit more disappointed at the fact that Aunt May just didn't question Peter Parker's tooth being ripped out. Like, I'm pretty sure when you go to the dentist would probably say this wasn't knocked out, this was forced out, or something along those lines. Now, obviously, that's just me being really, really picky, but I just kind of feel like it was a little bit obvious, so yeah. Now, as for everything else, it was just awesome. Gwen Stacy handling the secret identity of Peter Parker was brilliant, and just how all 3 of them are kind of in like a secret identity triangle now. We're going to be seeing that playing out in the future of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, but guys, the next saga is actually the introduction of Carnage. Now, it does get a little bit confusing, guys, so as I'm reviewing those Carnage issues, I will be explaining like what's kind of going on with Carnage and all that awesome stuff, but yeah. Also, guys, I will actually be previewing the next issue, like maybe a page or 2 on my Twitter. So if you want to go to the links in the description, you can check that out. But other than that, follow me on Facebook to stay up to date. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and I will see you all later.